It's the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday, September 12th. I'm James Spann. A cold front across North Alabama this afternoon, producing showers and storms sagging south. What does that mean for the weekend? What about the tropics? A little disturbance about to move into the Gulf. We'll talk about that and much more as we go. First off, some Skycam shots around the network this afternoon. This is coming from Gadsden. Some big downpours there off in the distance. That's our trustful Skycam, a broken field of cumulus clouds there. And up in Russellville in Franklin County, it's cloudy and it's cool. They're only at 76 degrees with a north breeze. How about that? They're behind the front. Well, there you go. It's a battleground between the ridge here across the deep south and the main dynamic support up north driving the front with a cold trough. The front is just north of Interstate 20 at mid-afternoon. And near the front, we have a number of showers and strong storms with lightning, gusty winds, heavy rain. But again, north of the line from near Vernon to Jasper to Aniana to Fort Payne, it is drier and cooler north of that front. You can see a huge thermal contrast. Tuscaloosa, 93, south of the front. North of the front, you've got 77 at Haleyville, and Memphis, Tennessee at 67 at mid-afternoon. That's big, and the front, again, is just sagging south. The real cool air stays north of here, but I think most locations will be considerably cooler tomorrow. And it's really cold up in the core of this air mass, only in the 30s and 40s at mid-afternoon over parts of Colorado and western Kansas. And again, we've got frost advisories down into Colorado and Nebraska and Kansas, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Off to the west, some flash flood watches and warnings for parts of West Texas and southern New Mexico. This is the overall rain for the next 5 days, valid through Wednesday morning of next week. The bigger numbers across the southeastern part of Alabama, suggesting maybe 2 inches or more. And there's a wild card here with this tropical wave. I don't think it develops, but tropical waves can produce a lot of rain. And if this thing is picked up and carried northeast, that could be correct. Or it might go farther south and affect Texas. We'll just have to wait and see. This is what we got on the tropical board. We have a wave south of the Cape Verde Islands. We have Tropical Storm Edouard, and also that wave that's over South Florida. Edouard, the tropical storm, stays in the middle of nowhere. That is going to be perhaps becoming a hurricane by Monday morning of next week, but again, that recurves, no threat to land. This is the newer wave that is in the far eastern Atlantic, located south of the Cape Verde Islands, and that looks pretty well organized. If anything develops there, that will be moving towards the west-northwest in about 5 days, probably north of 20 north. And again, traditionally when they get north of 20 north, they tend to recurve, but we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, this is the one everybody is watching here. This is the tropical wave that is over South Florida. I believe there's a circulation center just west of Lake Okeechobee there, approaching Fort Myers. And the modeling on this, again, there's kind of two schools of thought. Some models take it on a southerly route across the Gulf over towards South Texas. Some a little farther north, and it gets hung up in the westerlies, and it recurves to the east-northeast, and that would impact maybe the central Gulf Coast with a higher rain chance next week. Will this develop? I don't think so. Again, the winds aloft are harsh down there. Most models do not develop this. A few do. I don't think it becomes a hurricane. And again, I doubt if this becomes a tropical depression. It might. The SSTs are relatively warm down there, and again, the Gulf has been untouched. But we'll just keep an eye on that. For now, it's kind of a wild card, but I don't think it'll be a factor for the northern half of the state up here where we are. All right, model fans, let's take a look at the weekend weather. This is tomorrow at 1 o'clock off the GFS, the 12Z run. We've still got that stinking 591 heat ridge down here. The main polar jet is north of us, and the front just seeps to the south. And the GFS is kind of pushing at this time the drier air all the way down to Montgomery. It's got the chance of showers south of a line from Lafayette to Greenville to Gulf Shores. And the odds are increasing that we will not have any rain to deal with tomorrow. But I could see a deal where the clouds stay in place much of the day. And it could be pretty cool. The latest NAM is showing a high of only 79 in Birmingham. And I think that might be right, considering the depth of the cool air behind this. This is the high-res NAM tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and it shows absolutely nothing. Bodes well for the Alabama football game in Tuscaloosa. I think it'll be very comfortable. And again, it could very well be in the 70s at kickoff for that game, with temperatures falling through the 70s during the game. But again, I'm not so sure we see a lot of sun tomorrow. This is Sunday. We'll call it partly sunny. And again, the weather looking relatively dry. Highs, I'd say low to mid 80s. Should be a pretty decent day. And then the front dissipates on Monday and the moisture comes back. There could be a few scattered showers, nothing really widespread. This is Tuesday. Moisture increases, and Wednesday seems to be the day with a higher chance of rain next week with a wave coming in from the west. And again, if the tropical wave in the Gulf moves north, that might add to that. So for now, we're thinking that might be the wettest day of the week. And then this is Thursday. That wave moves on by. And a week from today, still troughing over the East Coast and down below that, that looks relatively quiet. That's Friday the 19th. We'll check the end of the forecast, the 28th of September. Heights around average, and again, that's a dry air mass. Nothing too cool. Looks about seasonal for late September. And again, the 90s are gone. In fact, this is suggesting we'll might see a few days with highs in the 70s toward the end of next week or the following weekend. That sounds pretty good. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. My next video will be Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Brian Peters, the man that looks like Colonel Sanders. We'll have the updates here tomorrow and Sunday. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream of the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.